Because I'm looking at this as the gold mine and what is going to give me all the money. And then what happens when you can't play? What happens when life comes and knock you across the head and kick you in the butt and then spit on you and then throw a chair on you? Then what do you do? And you don't have no money management. Then what happens to you? That's one of the myths that most people get twisted.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
Welcome back to another edition of the Arnold Stars Podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare for a life of overseas basketball. If this is your first time, please do me a huge favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and share this out there with a hooper who wants to play basketball one day. In this episode today, we're going to be talking about the myths that are told to us before starting playing overseas basketball. And before I get into that, I just got to get something off my chest first. Just a little bit of, self-talk, little motivation for you guys. Just jumpstart this episode, because this episode is a little significant. Why is that, you may ask? It's because this is probably my third time recording this episode. This topic alone, I have talked and used and already done maybe 2 times prior. So this is the third time. And why is that happening? Because I am in the process of building and growing this network, and that is adjacent to not always having things happen the way you need them to happen. I think it doesn't really matter what level of life that you're on. Things are just going to come that are going to try to deter you, try to knock you off your pivot, knock you off of your stance of where it is that you're trying to go and pursue. I did it as a live twice. Both times I did it as a live, the internet cut out and the whole video got deleted. Like 45 minutes in, just deleted out of nowhere. And in those moments, I have a choice to whether or not I'm going to continue to do it. Will I do it again, or will I just abandon the mission of the objective that I have set out, which is to record this video on this topic? And that just reminded me of, these are the little moments in life that we all must come to agreement with ourselves that, you know what, we will push past these moments. We will push past these moments. They are there to help us fortify our will, help us to be able to continue to press forward. These are little gems that we pick up along the way of pursuing whatever it is that we may pursue in life. Like, these are the building blocks. These are the things that gives us strength when we believe that it's not going to happen for us. It's in these moments that we say, you know what, even though everything is stacked up against me, I'm going to continue to push and I'm going to continue to get this done. And this, whatever that may be for you, is going to be what pushes you forward and excels you forward. And it may not seem like it's doing anything. It may seem only more as just an inconvenience. All this is an inconvenience that is like, oh, I'm done. I'm tired of this, because, it's too stressful to keep going over these minor inconveniences. It don't be the big thing. It be those little things that just keep happening. You record a video, it deletes. And then you try it again, and that delete. And then you go and then your battery's dead. And then your light breaks or something. All these are just the testing of your will, of your belief, of the faith that you have in your dream, in your outcome of what it is that you are striving for, whatever that may be. Maybe it is a dream, maybe if it's a goal, maybe it's to reach a bank account of $100,000, whatever a goal and objective. There are going to be so many things that's going to try to deter you from getting there. But through it all, we prevail. We pursue, we fight, we grind, we push through it, because we understand that these are the moments that will decide our fate. And it is only in the mindset that we accumulate and we gather to understand that these moments are what builds us into the person that we are trying to be able to have the things that we so seek after. Is in those moments the becoming of the person that we want to be. They're not in the arriving to the place that you want to be. It's in the small steps that you take to get there. Through all the many battles that you go through in order to win the war in your mind, to just fight against that feeling. And it could be just the simplest things, but it's just so tedious. Do you realize the most tedious things that we know we must do, it takes us forever to do, and we just digress and we just don't ever get to it. But in those moments, it's what builds us, it's what makes us, it's what ignites the desire that's in us to keep going forward. Once we fight against just the doubt, the struggle, the fight, the mental internal battle, because all it is an internal battle that we are fighting against to achieve whatever our mindset, because nobody is telling us we have to go do these things. It's just something that we have chosen for ourselves, and we just have to understand, if you've chosen whatever life path that you have for yourself, what will you do to continue to fight for that to happen for you, against all the obstacles, against all the setbacks, against everything that wants to knock you off of your pivot before arriving to the destination that you have designed for yourself? How hard will you work? How much will you stand to deal with when everything is pushing against you to not achieve it? You will be able to overcome. This too shall pass. Just remember, in all those moments and all these times that it may seem hard and difficult and setback and this, that, and the third, this too shall pass. This moment will pass and you will be able to overcome. And when you do, the feeling of gratification of that you just acquire for yourself, because you said, you know what, through it all, I done it. No one can give that to you. No one can take that away from you, of you just coming to a realization and becoming determined in your own will to do something that you have said or promised to yourself. There's nothing like a promise that you've made to yourself that you have kept. That type of feeling that you get when you keep the promises that you made to yourself, no one can take that from you. That type of fulfillment that you get of overcoming. And that's just how I wanted to start off this episode, because that's how I feel in the beginning of starting this, because this is the path that I'm on. And I just want to always let it be known to the people who tune in all the time, or the guys who tune in, that, you know, it's everyone. We all have our ups and downs. We all have things that are trying to set us back and keep us from achieving our goal. I do every single day, just like you may have. We all have things that are trying to deter us from getting to our ultimate goal or getting to a goal. It's big, small, indifferent. There are going to be setbacks and things that are trying to keep you from achieving that. But you will overcome, you will preserve, you will fight, you will arrive, you will overcome, you will not let anything withhold you from arriving, from becoming. And now we're going to get into today's topic. We're going to be talking about the myths that were told to us before playing basketball. Are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. The myths that we all thought, that I thought, were what overseas basketball was about. And just like, we're going to dive into those and break those down. Myth number 1, if you're nice, they'll find you. Talent doesn't guarantee you'll get signed, exposure does. Most black hoopers rely on the game, but overseas rewards those, not always what you do, but who you know. Some agents overlook black players unless they're flashy, marketable, or passive. If you are nice, they gonna find me. This is a concept that I had in my brain when I was in high school. I thought that if you was just good enough, somebody's gonna come and find you. I thought that in high school. I thought that in college. I thought that as a pro. If you're nice enough, if you're good enough, they will find you. It doesn't matter. No one is so good that everyone will come and find them. You have to do your own work. Don't let the limelight in social media fool you to think that you don't have to put the work in to properly promote yourself. When becoming a pro, don't let that make it seem like, well, he was good and did. You only see what the algorithm is pushing out to see. So you're always going to see the best of the people who's already making it. But in reality, you have to go and do your own work. I don't care how good you think you are. You know how many guys that this is my 12th year. How many guys I have passed up from just outworking them, whether that be communication and contacting agents, whether that be in talking to other basketball players and getting leads and connections, and my work ethic and everything that I'm working for, and my training, going to the gym 2-3 times a day. And my content, posting my workouts, posting my stats, and like staying relevant. They're not just teams are just not like, oh, yep, that's him, I want him. And you have to go out and do what you have to go out there and put yourself out there and work towards that. Just because you're good, or what you think, because a lot of guys think they're a lot better than what they are. And they wonder, why can't I get on? I know I'm better than this person and that person. And you start comparing your journey, your life to another person's, and wondering why they got on where they're at, and how come you're not on where you think that you should be at. Because you think that I'm so nice that everybody, I've seen some guys, yep, they were a lot better than some guys that were playing overseas. However, their representation and their work ethic of getting onto a job is 10 times more elite than yours is. So who reaped the benefit? The person who goes out and work for themselves and put themselves on, in whatever facet that may be. Talking, communicating, getting to know agents, getting to know teams, GM, writing other players, getting information on what agent you should go to. Just like you have to put your own work in. Myth number 2, overseas is a gold mine. You see highlights, but you don't see those misplaced checks that don't arrive for 2 to 3 months. Only the top 5% are making the most money. The rest are just fighting for a good contract. Teams often delay payments to black players, betting on silence and desperation. Mike James, Kevin Punter, like Thanasis, these guys who are big time overseas assets, players, they are shown more in the limelight, and their contracts and stuff are being portrayed more because like they're in the top 5%. The average basketball player is not in that top 5%. You will be surprised how many good jobs there are. And when I say good job, A good job for a basketball player, that means you have got time in the game, you got skin in the game. A good job is between $4,000 to $5,000 a month. It's between $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That is roughly on average of what a good career is about, making about $5,000 a contract a month on average, because it fluctuates from time difference from different leagues. You might play 3 months in a league, you might say 10 months in a league, you might play 6 months, you might play in 2 leagues in a year, one 6 months, one 4 months, and you average 10 months. On average, the contracts for a good player is around 4,000 to 6,000, average around 5,000. That means you've had a successful career. You've been able to accumulate enough money to make the proper investments, to do certain things with your money, because, well, you have to know money management, of course, and you have to have someone giving you some type of information, as I do so much on this podcast, on what to do with the money once you have it. I'll get back to that. However, for most players, they're not making millions of dollars. So you go in, so many players that I know, and I'm not even going to talk about no other player, I'm going to talk about myself. Most guys, such as I, when I started playing and I made my money and I started winning some bonuses and winning championships and getting these extra money from contracts, I was just living. I wasn't doing nothing with the money. I wasn't properly managing the money that I had. So, and I'm thinking, oh, once I get over here and I'm making this money, it's all good. And I ain't got to worry about nothing else. I ain't got to worry about my living. I ain't got to worry about nothing else in life, because I'm making this basketball money. And even though I was making, if you think about it, making $6,000 a month, 2-3 years in a row with no taxes tied to it, with no rent tied to it. Just take out rent, light, water bill, because I'm spending 90% of my life overseas, where they're taking care of my housing, my bills, my transportation, my food. You accumulate just that a month, and that whatever you make, you add $3,000 on top of that. That's really what your average contract is, because you accumulate food, gas, lights, water, internet, transportation, rent. You add all these things, and an average person, would they pay about a month, let's just say an extra $2,000 a month on just living expenses that you don't have to worry about. So your contract, if you're getting 5, you're really getting 7. If you're getting 6, you're really getting 8. If you're getting 3, you're really getting 5. So as you accumulate this money and not knowing what to do with it, you put yourself in a big hole. And I put myself in a big hole because I didn't understand money management. I didn't really understand what to do with the money when I had it. I think when I calculated over my 9th career, after 9 years, maybe, I was just in basketball. I made over $500,000, over $500,000, just in accumulated funds. Just strictly playing basketball. That doesn't mean any other ventures of money that I had. Just accumulation. That's working probably on average 8-month season. The other 4 months I have for myself. But just strictly basketball, at least over $500,000. And then I remember the realization of after those 9 years, and I look at my bank account and I only had $100 in there, and I was just like, what is going on? And it's because I'm just looking at the basketball and the lives of the overseas, as far as all the money that I've been able to make, but I haven't realized that I'm not doing nothing with it. An OG, a guy that was older than me, I was like 25, he was like 31, he had more time in the game. He was giving me a brief example of when he went to Japan, and he had made like 150 that year, and by the time the next season rolled around, he was at 20,000. You know, and you look at all this money, but you're not looking at how you manage the money and what you do with the money, because you don't have no one telling you about the money and what you should do with it. And then you just blow through it because you think, oh, I can just go here, get this money, and then I'm good, and I always another contract coming. It's not like that. You're not making enough to sustain that type of lifestyle that where you're not having to manage your money. And even if you're making that much money, you have to know how to manage it. Regardless, in every situation, you have to be able to manage your money in order to keep, grow, and even attain a different lifestyle with the money that you've been working so hard for. You have to be able to manage this money in the right way. And that's one thing I didn't do. I ain't even gonna talk about what most athletes, I know for me, and I can speak on a lot of athletes because I ran into so many of them. They're all in the same boat. No one's telling them what to do with their money. Their homeboy might have a business venture. They might try it, but it's all from scratch type situation. And no one's really giving you something valid. Giving you something valid on what you should do with this money. And that was the biggest thing, the biggest lesson I know, speaking of, that I thought, oh, all I gotta do is go overseas, I'm gonna make this money and then I'm good. Thinking this overseas is a gold mine, but you never know, things can happen. I had got surgery and the doctor told me right after that, you'll never play again. So there go my money flow right there. You know where I was at after that? Working at Walmart. Because I didn't have money management, and all the money that I had made, I didn't save it or invest it and did nothing with it. And then now, after playing 5, 6, 7 years at that point, and then all the money that I accumulated, there was none. Because I'm looking at this as the gold mine of what is going to give me all the money, and then what happens when you can't play? What happens when life comes and knock you across the head and kick you in the butt and then spit on you and then throw a chair on you? Then what do you do? And you don't have no money management. Then what happens to you? That's one of the myths that most people get twisted. They're looking at it as a gold mine and not looking at the biggest and the most important thing, which is management of your money. Myth number 4. Once you sign, you're safe. Overseas contracts are made of paper. Loyalty, or is optional. Black players are often the first cut, last paid, and easily replaced. Some coaches treat black imports like disposable parts, and they are not professional towards them. There was an incident in Argentina about maybe 2-3 years ago where a coach wanted a player to sign to the team. The player did his due diligence. He contacted other players, contacted other people about the information on the team, the organization, the status of whatever is going on over there. So upon realizing the situation, he respectfully declined the coach and his offer. The coach went on to disrespect him, calling him a slave, calling him a monkey, calling him all sorts of names, telling him that he was going to cut him as soon as he got there. Just completely playing with the man's life, his time, his money, everything. And this is this type of treatment that you have to be prepared for. Because yes, we are sought after, especially as black athletes, because we just have this stigma of just being more athletic, and it's just the type of people that play the sport. It ain't no stereotype about it. It's just, it is what it is. Most players that play professional basketball overseas are primarily, especially coming from America, are black individual players, are black individuals, and they are looked at in a certain way. I'll give an example of a guy on the team. I currently have an episode that's like an exclusive episode that I want to release in a part of the upsell. Once you buy my book, you will get access to a video of the video breakdown, and with that comes a free version of an episode that I've done that no one has ever heard, relating to one of my teammates at the time and how a team did him. And it was so outrageous, I didn't even release it. I decided to put it as an exclusive video that I'll probably be adding into the with the purchase of the video breaking down the book, the video format. You'll see it. If you buy the book, link is in the bio. Buy the book. 6 must-have traits to become overseas basketball player, and get the video breakdown. With the video breakdown is this exact interview that I am talking about a player who decided to not. I'll give you the story. So in the story, we're in practice, we're in the playoffs. One of my teammates, he got fouled or whatever. So he got fouled and he felt like, you know what, the coaches are picking on me. This one coach in particular, the assistant coach, he's picking on me. He doesn't like black people, and he's purposely coming at me, and he's not purposely giving me calls. And he's coming at me, so he spazzed out, starts going off like, man, you racist. You're only doing that because I'm black in this situation. And in my head, I was just like, oh. Sometimes even black people get tired of hearing the black card being used in that aspect. I'm like, bro, I'm here too. And I don't feel no type of negative or racist remarks towards me at all. So like, let's not even like go down that route today. Like, it's not even that important. We're in the playoffs. We're trying to get ready for the playoffs. Hey, it's a playoff practice. Maybe you're not going to get certain calls that you want. That's fine. Let's continue to push forward and continue to practice and whatever. He got upset. You're a racist. You're this. The coach, head coach, didn't say a word. He just sat on the side, walking up and down, pacing, letting him go off, letting him blow his steam off, letting him release himself, and just letting him express himself. Great coaching. Understanding what position his player is in and giving him the adequate amount of space to get himself under control. Great coaching. The player, on the other hand, decided, I'm going to leave the gym. Now, that's crossing the line, because now you're just like taking yourself out of the bigger picture, which is the group. No one is bigger than the group. You can't just pick up and leave. It's like in the Last Dance documentary when Scotty just said, I'm out. You just bailing on the group. You just bailing on the team. And under no circumstance, under any situation, can one remove himself from the team and feel like you're bigger than the team, that you don't do what we do. You can't remove yourself like that and expect that to go over well, which it didn't go over well. And in this and what happened after that, they fired him. And also when they didn't upon firing him, they didn't pay him his money. Because they know they can get over on certain black players. I can only speak from the black experience and what I've seen in front of my own eyes, and a situation in front of me for myself. I can't speak on what nobody else goes through. I can only speak on certain situations and examples of things that happened with me, in front of me, in my life, and that was connected to me. And we had a conversation. I literally, in the conversation, you could hear him talking to the management, and you could hear the things that are being said in the conversations that he's having with them, and what they're talking about. And I was like, okay, I can't post this. However, that's a situation that happens where they know they're going to get over on you. That's why they will pull that move with you. They know they can get over on certain people, and just trust and believe. Just because he signed that contract, he was not safe. He was not safe from some situation like this happening to him where he didn't get his money. Or he didn't get his flight home. I don't even believe he got his flight home. He had to pay for his own flight home, but you're in a position. And I'm looking like I'm right next to him. And the thing is, which is so crazy, this is not the only player that they did something like this to. The previous player, 2 previous players before him, the first guy I was teammates with on this team, he went through a similar situation where he was like, I'm done. Send me home. I don't want to be here no more. And they owed him money as well. They took his money and they used that to pay the ticket home. They're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to pay him out, and they're supposed to buy him a ticket home. You're not supposed to take your money and use it on a ticket and discount your ticket money from your, because at any point in time, if they wanted to release you, they would have to pay for a new flight. But since he wanted to leave on his own terms and did not want to continue with the team because it wasn't in the best interest for him, they decided, well, we're going to just take your money and we're going to use it towards the flight. So now you don't have no money to go home with. We're not going to pay for that, and we're going to take the money that we owe you and use it towards the flight, which is completely not in the contract and what was due in the contract. So teams, management breaking contracts and going against what they do, that happens on the regular. That happens all the time. You're not safe just because you sign a contract. That's why proper representation is so important. Having an agent that is FIBA certified, for example, having an agent that has actually been through situations where they had to go get your money. Because a lot of the agents don't know how to go get your money, like putting sanctions on teams and taking them to that court and filing a lawsuit against them so you can get your money. Having that proper representation takes you a long way. Knowing someone who you're working with that can go and get that money, that can go and get you out of bad contracts, that are willing to fight for you. You have to understand that you have to find the right person that is willing to fight for you. Because if not, as you can see, in his situation, he didn't get his money. Other situations, they didn't get their money. They go home empty-handed. Happens all the time. I believe this is myth number 5. Black players dominate overseas. Dominate, maybe. Respected, not always. Black excellence is sometimes viewed as a threat, not an asset. Dang, that's a bar. Black excellence is sometimes viewed as a threat, not an asset. One more time for the people in the back. Black excellence is sometimes viewed as a threat, not an asset. Is there an unspoken ceiling for how far a black player can rise on a foreign team? Very interesting perspective of how far you're willing to be able to be as good as you can be on a set team or situation. I will give you a real life example of this pertaining to me, situation I went through. Now, if you follow the show and the podcast, you will know that I was in Argentina recently, and I have felt that I was overqualified for the position that I was in, which is I was in the backup position, but I did not play as a backup. I was showing that my skill set was of a star player, or not even a star player, but a star player on this team and a leading player on this team. I went from averaging off the bench, playing minimal minutes, 4 points for the first half of the season, to getting a starting role in about 3 months and becoming the second leading scorer on the team within a matter of months, strictly because of the skill set that I had in this particular team. However, disregarding how well I played, I was not able to keep the starting role because that belonged to someone else. And some teams, organization, countries, they will put their locals over black players or players in general. Like I said, I'm only speaking of black players because I'm speaking of myself. And they will put those type of players, their players, over them, not based on how good you are, but based on the merit of who you are. Doesn't matter how good you are, your skills, or how good you are. In this situation, I don't care how good you are. You're going to come off the bench and you're going to play minimum minutes, because the person that we have in front of us is the person that we want for the job, not you. You are a starter player. That may be true. However, it doesn't matter, because we're not asking you to be the star player. We're asking you to be the role player. We don't care how good you may be as a role player. We want you to stay in your role. Stay in your role. You may be better. You may be better for the position. You may be better in this role. You may help the team out even more as you being a starter, but that is not what we want. We want you to be a backup role player, minimize yourself and just fit this role, and that is what we are content with. That's what we are content with. And that's what they want from you. And sometimes that's just the way it is. And you have to disassociate yourself from what it is where you're at and the job at hand. Sometimes what they're asking of you, that is what is required of you. And a lot of us who are, even if you're, a lot of people in that role, you're a competitor. You're a competitor. So you don't want to accept that role. You want to thrive. You want to hoop. You want to dominate. You brought me here to dominate. Don't diminish me because of the color of my skin or my skills or where I come from. Don't judge me based on my character, not by the color of my skin. Didn't Martin Luther King say that? One day, I wish for a day that my kids will be judged by their character and not the color of their skin. Basically saying it's the same holds true today as it did back then of when he said it. It's pretty much the same basis. Like, judge me on what I bring to the team, not based on my color of skin and based on of me not being here. But it's just a truth that is what it is. You may be one of the most valuable assets on the team, but that's not what they brought you there for. Doesn't matter. Is viewed that go back to that black is viewed as a threat more than it looked at as an asset. And I could say, like, even in that situation when I was on the team, the guy that I was playing behind, he viewed me as a threat in the beginning. And one thing I do, and I know for sure, is I sense energy, and I could sense the energy of envy and just resentment towards my way because we played in the same position. And I guess he believed that I was coming for his spot because of my skill set. My skill set was outplaying his skill set, and he's looked at as the guy. And now you have someone that's basically challenging you in your play that is outplaying you effortlessly, strictly on the merit of my skill and just my will of who I am. I'm not trying to go out and be anyone other than who I am. And if that leads to me being one of the best players on the team, what's wrong with that? But you have to really disassociate that concept in your mind and just keep pushing forward towards you being yourself, because the envy will come towards your way. Like I said, me and the guy that was playing ahead of me, he started feeling envious towards me. He started feeling like, and we didn't speak. The energy was super bad and negative and feeling like, oh, you're not this, da 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 da. It's like hidden messages in the air of energy, because energy don't lie. Energy doesn't lie. It will tell the truth in any situation at all times. Someone walk up to you, they don't have to say a word. The energy that they portray from them will let you know everything that you need to know. And it's very, very rare that I know from myself that the energy has lied to me about a person, a place, or a thing that's going on. The energy in the air is going to tell the truth of that person and situation, no matter what other words coming out their mouth. The energy that they portray to you and they give off to you is going to really tell you about that person. There's been people I've walked in the first 5 seconds, I felt them before they had to say a word of anything. You feel their energy. You feel what they're about. And in this situation, I felt that. And that's just a sad reality sometimes, that you could be so good. You could just be so good that people just can't stand you. Their demons are upset about the good light and energy that you portray from yourself, and it bothers them. Your good energy bothers their demons. Always remember that. It bothers something inside of them that they are trying to hide from themselves. Especially when you come off with good energy and good, that's all you can ever do is, at the end, keep being the good energy and light that you are, to drown out the negativity that people want to give to you and bring around you. You have to stay locked into your pure energy that of your belief in being yourself, because you're focused on yourself. Once you focus on bettering yourself and focusing on just you being the best version of yourself, the people who are meant to be around you will gravitate towards you, and the people who are not meant to be around you cannot last long in your presence. It just will not mix. So you just have to continuously focus on being yourself. Now, granted, I will say me and this guy in this current situation did come to, I wouldn't say come to an agreement or nothing, but he realized that I'm not out to be your worst. I'm not here to combat you. We're on the same team to win together. Whatever that may be, whatever that entails, I'm here working with you. Yes, I am good. Yes, I am talented. Yes, I'm great at what I do. Yes, I may be better than you, but we are on the same team. We are all working towards the same goal. And once he realized that, and he realized that the way I come in every single day with a good energy, positive attitude, I ain't gonna say every day. For the most part, I'm a positive, high energy, smiling, just good energy, high inspiration type of person. That's just who I am at the core. And you cannot deny me my energy that I portray out into the world, because this is something that I ask from God. This is something that the universe has put in me, that I can portray the energy source that I have in me to be a light and a help to anyone around me. You can't deny me that. No one can deny me that right to let my light shine. You either going to get blinded by it and it's going to disturb you, or you're going to be attracted to you. It's going to be attracted to you and you're going to draw closer to it. But I can only walk my road. I can only be who I've been called to be. I can only go down my own path and do what I've been called to do, regardless of what anybody else thinks, feel, or says about me. And that's how we should all move, on our own accord. On our own accord. Moving on to myth number, I believe this is 6, 7. I lost count. I ain't even gonna lie. We're gonna finish up on this last one. Just focus on hooping. Overseas, you gotta hoop, hustle, market, and survive. There's no staff, no support system. Most black pros juggle everything solo. Are systems built to keep black athletes focused on hooping and not ownership? Now, in the NBA, I can't speak on that level because that's above my pay grade. I'm not in the NBA, and I know the brand that you have in the NBA is a lot bigger than the ones that most guys have overseas. It's bigger than the one that most guys have overseas. So in saying that, in that aspect alone, you have to build your own brand. I know particularly in the case of Big Deuce. My boy Big Deuce from Tap Athletics. Y'all go follow him on Tap Athletics. When he's a content creator as well. He's doing his work and he's doing his content. You have teams and organizations that told him, you need to stop making content and you need to focus on just basketball. As if I can't work and do my business without handling my business on the court. People are threatened by your success. People are threatened by your growth, how you wish to better yourself. A lot of times, organizations and teams are threatened by the fact that you have more motion going on for yourself other that's outside of them. You own a business, you're making your own moves. They think because a lot of times they're not doing the same thing like most players and they're so used to players being strictly basketball player, and this is just worried about them feeding you, them taking care of your needs. You're relying on them. That's how they look at most athletes coming in. So when they see someone who actually has real motion, who actually has a business that comes in with intellect, that actually has other things going on that takes them, that's not only focused on basketball, but focused on growth, focused on their business, focused on entrepreneurship, these different type of things, they take it almost as a challenge to where that you're not focused. You need to be focusing more on this. You're focusing on your social media. You should just focus in on just hooping. Listen, I am my marketer. I am my researcher. I am the content creator. I'm the editor. I do it all because I understand in this part of my career that all the years that I've accumulated, I've got something that I can, one, give back to the world. Two, that I can monetize and grow and use. I'm not only using basketball for the money that I've gained in the years that I played, but I'm using the years and years of experience to give back the information, to grow my own brand, to make something out of it for myself. Because that's the road that you choose to really get out of basketball. I have one of my friends, this guy is 2-time BCLA MVP champion. That's BCLA, if you don't know what that is, that's a league in South America, which is the biggest league in all South America. He's won this championship twice. He's been MVP twice. There is no other person that's been in the championship twice and been MVP twice like him. And I screamed to him, use your following to monetize your life, because basketball gonna stop one day, but the brand that you build along the way is dependent upon you. It's dependent upon you. Don't let no team, organization, or anyone ever deter you from you building your brand. That's what this ATP stand for. That's what ATP Network. This is the brand. I am the everything. I do it all. I don't care. And that's the mindset that we all must take on about our life. Listen, my camera running hot. That means it's about time for me to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. Share this with someone, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.